I'm once again for you. As you know very well, we have been dealing with the chapter number 8, that is controlling in business studies for class 12 CBSE syllabus. And in today's session, what we are going to have discussion on, that is importance or significance of controlling, right? See, if we say that controlling function is not important, then this is not the fair statement. Why? Because the management cannot be completed in the absence of controlling. Okay, 5 of the functions are important to complete the management process. Okay, because you can imagine a situation like, if the controlling is not done, then you cannot be sure that your plans will be implemented as these have been scheduled or as these have been prepared or not, right? So just to be sure about it, you have to exercise the function of controlling, right? So there are few points of importance of controlling. We are going to have discussion on them in detail with suitable example. So without wasting much time, let's start. I just write down all the points and then I'll discuss them one by one. So here are the points of importance of controlling, right? So just to remember them in a proper way, I have prepared a code, right? Okay, and you know very well that my codes are pretty unusual, so that these leave the impression on your mind for a longer period. So here the code is. See, my friend is effectively avoiding judgment, right? So you have to imagine a kind of situation. There is your friend and he is avoiding the judgment very effectively and running away from the judgment. Okay, unusual one, but try to imagine that. If you imagine that situation, then with that you can connect the importance of controlling. You can take like that he is going away from the control of the court, judgment and other things. Okay, he is trying to decline the importance of that. Okay, so imagine a situation. My friend is effectively avoiding the judgment. Okay. So I just tell you how this code is fitted here. This M stands for making efficient use of resources. Okay. This F stands for facilitating coordination in action. This I stands for improving employee motivation. And this E stands for ensuring order and discipline. A stands for accomplishing organizational goals, and this J stands for judging accuracy of standards, right? My friend is effectively avoiding judgment. Okay, by this you can remember all the points of importance of controlling. Okay. Now let's understand these points one by one. So the very first point is making efficient use of resources. Okay, see what happens by implementing the function of controlling. We are able to stop the wastage and spoilage of resources. How? Because under controlling, what happens, we try our level best to stick to the plans which have been made at the time of planning, right? And entire management focuses on efficiency and effectiveness, right? So at the time of planning, we must have had kept this thing in our mind that all the resources should be utilized in effective and efficient manner. Okay, so under controlling, all we need to do is to stick to the plans. If we try our level best to stick to the plans, then automatically what happens, the proper utilization of resources takes place. Understood the point? All the resources get utilized in efficient manner. How? I just give you one example. Okay, say for example, at the time of planning, it was decided that this year the target is there to produce 20,000 units, right? Okay, so just to attain that target, what's gonna happen? The management, the lower level management or middle level management or top level management, they all will try their level best. They will implement the function of controlling at last. Okay, very first they'll do the planning was done, then they'll do the organizing, Okay, then staffing if it's needed, or directing will go on, and simultaneously controlling will also take place. Okay, so what will happen, as I told you, this target is there for the year. If they see that initial month there are the chances, there is the possibility that if we keep this performance, if we are getting this output, we cannot achieve the target, then definitely management will awake at that point of time. Okay, management will see where we are lacking, what is happening, okay, whether all the resources being used properly or not. Fine. So if they see that workers are wasting the time in gossiping and all, then they need to take some corrective measure for that. Okay, so that problem was found out just because of the control. Okay, so controlling has to be implemented successfully, only then we can ensure that our resources are utilized in the efficient manner, right? So we can clearly say that controlling somewhere makes the efficient use of resources. Understood the point? Now let's move on to another point. So the second point is facilitating coordination in action. See, if we apply controlling function, then what happens, all the departments and all the employees working in those departments, whatever efforts they are putting, all their efforts are coordinated into one action, and which is happening just to attain the common objectives of the organization. How it happens, I tell you. See, all the departments are already given the targets. Okay, very first common organizational goal is set, and then this goal is subdivided. Okay, and small parts of the targets are given to particular departments. Okay, so standards are already fixed for those departments. They just need to work on and get that target, okay, in the coordinated manner. But for that, they need someone to poke them, they need someone to check their activities, they need someone to constantly push them, and that can be done by the manager by exercising the controlling function effectively. Okay, again and again, if he comes, supervises, if he asks, okay, and gets to know what is the actual performance and what was the standard performance, he just compares both of them, and then if there is any deviation, he suggests some corrective measures. So in that way, this controlling process goes on continuously in the organization, and somewhere in all departments it creates a kind of coordination. Okay, because this controlling will be done in all the departments, and all the departments will just try their level best to get the predetermined standards. Okay, and these standards already have been set by keeping everything in the coordinated manner. Okay, so all we need to do is to apply the controlling function successfully, and rest everything will be done itself. Understood the point? So this is the way, means by using controlling function we can keep all the efforts of the departments and the people who are working there in the coordinated manner, right? Means controlling somewhere facilitates coordination in action. Understood the point? Now let's move on to another point. So the next point is improving employee motivation. I explain you how it works. See, all the employees working in the particular departments are already given the targets. They already know what are their roles and how they are going to perform in the most effective manner to achieve the particular target of the department. Okay, in actual what happens, very first the organizational goals are set. Okay, and those goals are subdivided into the departments, and then within the departments also the particular people are given the particular responsibility. Okay, so already the employees are aware of their responsibilities, roles, okay, and their expected contribution to achieve the desired result. Okay, all we need to do is just to constantly remind them. Okay, and that can happen with the successful implementation of controlling. Okay, a manager who is exercising controlling, what he or she will do, okay, he will go to the particular department, he will talk to so many employees, okay, he will ask what the target was given to you, okay, then he will see how much performance you have given, okay, and then he will match it with the standard, he will get the idea how the things are going on, okay. So he is performing his own function, the manager is performing, but by doing this, somewhere indirectly the manager is motivating the employee. How? Because again and again, when the employee is reminded of his target or the contribution expected from him, then definitely he is going to be more motivated and he will give the better performance than the earlier. Actually, what happens if the people superior to us do not focus on us in a proper manner, then we become lethargic. We start forgetting our targets, okay, we just start taking the things casually. But when our superiors are on the toes, then we also get motivated to attain the desired result. Understood the point? So that is why we can say controlling somewhere improves employee motivation. Fine. Now let's move on to another point. So the next point is ensuring order and discipline. Yes, this order is not like giving instructions to somebody. This order is what? Following the rules. Fine. Okay. Means everything and every person should be there at the place where they are supposed to be. Should be doing what they are supposed to do. Understood? That is the meaning of order here. Okay. So, how controlling ensures order and discipline in the organization? A moment back I just gave you the example. Okay, a superior comes to the subordinate, asks about his performance, okay, and suggest him some of the measures in case of any deviations. Okay, so this act of a manager or a superior somewhere cast a very strong impression on the mind of the subordinate. Okay, he becomes more active, he becomes more formal, he becomes more disciplined, right? You must have seen a kind of situation. Okay, if the subordinates are working in their room and all of a sudden their boss comes, then everybody gets alert. That happens. Okay, so when the boss is alert, then definitely all the subordinates will also be alert. Okay, and here as I told you that when the boss is alert means boss has to take care of the standards which were set and the performance which is going on. Okay, controlling function has to go on. Already I have discussed the features, and out of those features, the one feature was there. It is a continuous function. It goes on and on. It doesn't end, right? So a manager or a superior is all the time supposed to apply the function of controlling. Okay, by this what happens, he keeps on matching the standard performance with the actual performance. If everything is going in the proper manner, then there is no problem. But if the things are not going in the proper manner, there is some kind of deviation, then he suggests the proper solution to that problem so that the desired result can be achieved. So by applying this all, what happens, a kind of environment is there in the organization which somewhere pushes everyone to follow all the rules, regulations, okay, and to maintain discipline in the organization. Okay, I just give you one example for that. A manager came to know that some of his employees are in the habit of coming late every day. Okay, and it's not possible to talk to them and scold them every day about their timings. Okay, so what he did, he just put a biometric machine. Means their attendance will be marked with thumb impression and their timing will be recorded. Okay, and he made a rule like if you get late 3 times in a month, then your half day salary will be deducted in that month. Okay, this is a part of controlling. Okay, very first he observed, he wanted everybody to be in time, but in actual it was not happening. The problem was there. Then he used the measure was there to put biometric machine. Okay, and thereafter what happened? The problem was solved. Okay, everybody became disciplined and everybody became in order. Fine. So that happens due to the application of controlling. If the management was also not aware of it, he was also coming late, he was also ignoring the things, then definitely the desired results can never be achieved. That is why we say that controlling function is very much important. And that way we can say very clearly that controlling ensures order and discipline in the organization. Understood the point? Now let's move on to the another point of importance. So the next point is accomplishing organizational goals. See, entire function of controlling moves towards this only. Okay, if controlling function is not there in the existence, then it will be very much difficult to accomplish the organizational goal. Okay, because in the absence of controlling, what's going to happen? Everybody is going to be casual. Okay, they will not try their level best all the time to achieve the desired result, or we can say the set standard. Fine. So that is what the controlling function only, which makes them do everything on the toes. Okay, they remain intact to the standard set all the time. Okay, I just give you one example for that. Say for example, there is the production department, okay, and the workers have been given the target that per day they need to produce at least 100 pieces. Fine, per day. In a month, then it will be multiplied. Fine, and those 100 pieces can be produced only by working 6 hours continuously. 1 hour can be there for lunch and relaxation. Okay, so if any worker becomes casual in giving those 6 hours, if he gives 5 hours honestly for the production process, then what's gonna happen? His 1 hour will definitely bring the entire organization in the trouble. Okay, because like him, others will also be influenced and they will also start doing, they will also become lethargic, they will also be casual, they will not be there on their toes, they will not be active all the time. See, if once that kind of problem comes, then it becomes larger and larger. Okay, so that problem can be stopped only with the help of controlling. If a supervisor comes and checks every time that who is working what, okay, or he controls everything with the help of CCTV camera, okay, or with some other devices, okay, then in that case what's gonna happen? The employee will not get time to show any kind of lethargic attitude. Nilly-willy, he has to give his 6 hours with honesty, and ultimately what's gonna happen? The organization is going to achieve its goal. Okay, so this is a very small example. There are thousands of activities in the organization going on in a day, in a month, in a year, which need to be controlled. If the management sleeps even for a single second, then what's going to happen? He is going to miss a lot, right? So that is what the importance of controlling function. Controlling function has to be there in the organization all the time, every minute, every hour, every second. Understood the point? Okay, so the entire function of controlling somewhere helps in achievement of organizational goals. Fine. Now let's move on to the last point of importance. So Judging accuracy of standards. Yes, this is also the important aspect of controlling function. It judges the accuracy of standards as well. Sometimes what happens may be possible due to some reason there was a flaw in planning, right? These standards were set, but these were not set seeing the ground reality, right? There can be two reasons for that. One, the proper analysis of the facts and previous standards was not done. Okay, and another, the dynamic nature of the business environment. Okay, because already we know the environment of the business keeps changing and the planning may not work in the dynamic environment. Fine. So in these two situations, controlling function helps to judge the accuracy of standards anytime the modifications or changes are made. But very first, we need to realize and come to know that where there is a need to make changes or modification, right? And that is done with the help of controlling. I just give you an example for that. Suppose there is an organization which has targeted to produce 12,000 units in a year. Last year they produced 10,000 units. Fine. And after doing the proper analysis, they have set this target. Okay. Now, we can divide this target into 12 months. So according to that, they are supposed to produce 1,000 units per month. Fine. Okay. Now, when the work is going on, the superior, the manager, comes into the production department and inquires whether the target of 1,000 unit has been achieved or not. Okay. So if he comes to know that only 800 units have been produced, so there is a huge difference. Fine. Then one more time in the second month when he sees 700 units are being produced, now he has come to know that what's going to happen, this target of 1,000 units per month is not going to be achieved. So there is some kind of flaw in the planning. Maybe ground realities were not checked, or maybe possible the planning is not working due to the changes have taken place in the environment. Okay, so at that point of time, there is a need to make changes in the target. Okay, and then they may decide that every month there should be the target of 850 units, right? So this revision or modification could be done only with the successful implementation of controlling function. Understood the point? This is a very small example that I used, but like this there are many situations. Okay, so only through the controlling function we get to know that our standards were set accurately or not. If these are not accurately set, then there is a need or demand to set them accurately so that the achievable output can be set as a standard and it can be achieved as well. Okay, otherwise what's going to happen if we put the burden of some unrealistic target on our employees and the entire organization, they all will get demoralized, right? So we are not supposed to do that. We need to live in reality. We have to put the target which is achievable and realistic one. Okay, so that is why controlling function is important in that case in judging accuracy of standards. Understood the point? Alright friends, it was all about the importance of controlling. I hope you must have understood. Okay, there are a few case studies in the last of this video. Okay, try and practice them. Very soon I'm going to meet you in the another video in which I'll be discussing the process of controlling. Till then, thank you, bye bye.